I never know how to start YouTube videos. An introduction's always kind of a little bit awkward, isn't it? So let's just roll with it. So I've kind of been thinking about how to start a YouTube channel, what sort of videos to produce. If you read my blog, you'll know I wear a lot of vintage items, so I kind of wanted to go down the vintage styling route on my YouTube channel. I don't know if people will be interested in that because obviously vintage is second-hand one-off bits, so you can't really shop them yourself unless you find vintage replica 70s is really big at the moment, so you can sometimes find high street equivalent in Topshop, in Zara. For example, I'm quite 70s dressed today, and this is Zara, and this actually full-on jumpsuit is from ASOS. So I thought I'd start with a vintage haul because I quite like watching hauls on YouTube just because I'm nosy. I've bought quite a lot of vintage stuff this month, so I thought I'd share it with you this way. It's easier than listing it all on my blog and typing it out, rah rah rah. Yeah, it's just an easier way to do it. In January I went back to London for my birthday, turned 25, quarter of a century. Don't really know how I feel about that at all. No, I'm good with it, I'm good actually. I actually thought I was turning 26, so I've technically gained a year, so yeah, I think I'm happy with it. So yeah, I'm good with turning 25. London is great for vintage shopping. I currently live in Southampton, where there's only one vintage shop that I can think of. So every time I go home to London, I completely take advantage of all the shops there. I live about a 15-minute train journey from Brick Lane, and Brick Lane is my favourite place to shop because it's got tons of music, clothes, and some of the best food in London, and coffee actually. My favourite ever coffee shop is on Brick Lane. Oh, on the Saturday I went to the vintage kilo sale, which is where you pay for what it weighs. Didn't mean that to be poetry. So you pay £15 per kilo, and a kilo is approximately 4 items, like 4 blouses, 4 dresses, so yeah, 15 quid for 4 items is pretty good. The vintage kilo sale goes around the country. I think it stops in a different city every weekend. It might have a break in between. Unfortunately they don't come to Southampton at the moment, so when I was in London I made a point of visiting. So yeah, I'll show you what I got from there. I've sort of grabbed all the vintage stuff and just plucked it there, and now it's all mixed up, so I'll have to go through it. So the first thing I got from the kilo sale is this. Didn't think about how hard this would be to show on camera. It's a floral off the shoulder 70s maxi dress. So yeah, it's really gorgeous. And see, it's elasticated around the shoulder, so it should sit quite comfortably off shoulder, and it's got an elasticated waistband, so it's great for covering any food babies, which I always need. And yeah, I'm just a sucker for a printed maxi dress really. I think they're sort of my spring summer go-to. They're just easy to throw on. I mean, you don't really need to accessorise. Can't speak. You don't really need to accessorise them other than like throwing a belt around the waist. Oh, I told you I can't speak. You don't need to accessorise them other than throwing a belt around the waist. Got there in the end. Second is, have to excuse me, I haven't ironed anything yet. I've been in a pile waiting to shoot for my blog. It's a bit creased. But yeah, it's like this 70s striped. It looks velvet, but I'm not sure what material it is. I think it's velour. Oh! Charlie! Charlie's here. Say hello to Charlie. Hey Charlie! Hello! I've got a bit of an audience. I've got 4 cats around me at the moment. So the third thing I got from the vintage kilo sale is, if I can find it, we've got a checked shirt, just your standard checked shirt, but I'm quite fussy with checked prints. Don't know why, they just have to be perfect and not too preppy. So I prefer sort of lumberjack sort of checks, and this one just really stood out to me. Yeah, just liked it. It's a nice casual, easy to throw on with a pair of skiddies and boots. The fourth and final thing I picked up from the Kilo sale is... this is actually my favourite that I bought from the Kilo sales. It's an adorable little elephant print sundress. Oh, is that going to focus? Probably not. So yeah, I think that's my favourite thing. I saw it from across the hall and I literally ran across and grabbed it. I probably knocked some poor girl out the way, but it was worth it. Yeah, the vintage Kilo sale goes on every weekend, I think, in different cities. I'll link it below if you want to see if it's coming to your city soon. I think it's £2 entry to get in, and then £15 per kilo, which is an absolute bargain. They bring tons and tons of vintage goodies. Oh, next I'll show you some pieces from Glass Onion Vintage, who are actually the wholesale suppliers of the vintage Kilo sale. They kindly picked out some bits for me and made me a little package, which was really sweet. So I picked that up after the Kilo sale and they have got my style nailed. Like, I love every single bit. So I'll show you what I got from them. Sort of printed floral paisley maxi skirt, so it's really 70s. Bring that up there. Doesn't seem to want to focus that close, but yeah. Again, elasticated waistband, so I'm a fan of that. Also from Glass Onion, I got this tartan scarf, which I've got a few tartan scarves, but they're all red. I haven't got a bluey grey green one. I'm not quite sure what to call this colour. Another one from Glass Onion is this floral mini dress, really light. So this is another spring summer one, probably 90s, because I can just imagine wearing it with a pair of DMs. It's probably my favourite from the Glass Onion package. I didn't button it up by the looks of it. Nope. I really need to prepare better for YouTube videos rather than just have a massive pile there and then just go duh and duh. Next time I promise you I'll be better prepared. Trying to button this up without you noticing, but oh, does it matter? I've given it away now. It's this lovely midi. It's a really, I'm not sure what material it is, it's really soft, it almost feels like cool. But yeah, paisley buttoned midi dress. I really love this. It's got some shoulder pads in it, and I'm not a fan of shoulder pads, but they're easy enough to take out. I tend to take out shoulder pads in a lot of my vintage things. It's really, really easy. This absolutely incredible, it's a bit creased, I'm sorry, brown leather, or faux leather I think, I'm not sure if it's the real faux. I don't know, doesn't matter anyway. The last thing I need is another jacket. I've got a bit of a problem with hoarding jackets, but I love this, so it's fine. And then I went to Rokit, picked out some bits from Rokit. I was going to pick them out for my holiday in Tenerife, but it was January, so they didn't have much summer stock. I didn't really put two and two together, so I picked out some bits. One thing I got from Rokit is this fringed colourful bag. I'm actually taking this to Tenerife because it's perfect sort of side bag. But this is actually part of the, you can see there, the Rokit recycled range. So it's part of their own range. It's not your standard vintage. It's made from recycled vintage products into new products, giving it like a sort of new lease of life. So for this, it was probably a really old biker jacket that just was torn and there's no way to repair it, so why not cut it up and give it, yeah, a new lease of life and create it into something else. So when I go to Tenerife, we're going to the Santa Cruz Carnival, so it's all going to be about colour, rainbows, glitter. I can't wait. So I was drawn to this sort of rainbow print because it's perfect for the carnival. I've sort of got a massive pile building up this side now. You'll just see me in a moment like ah! But yeah, second thing I got from Rokit were these amazing sort of really grungy 90s platform boots. Even though it's probably a little bit too warm to take to Tenerife, is another Rokit from the Rokit recycled range. It's this velvet crop top that's got like patchwork velvet on it, and then it's got this amazing paisley sort of hippie psychedelic print. But yeah, I really love this. I love this a lot. Okay, so on Pinterest I've had this image of Abby Lee Kershaw saved for ages, where she looks amazing. She's at a festival with Ray-Bans, like her hair slicked back, and I think she's got, I think it might be like denim shorts at the top or like a little summer dress, and then over the top she's got this oversized golden velvet blazer. And ever since then I've been on a hunt for like a golden yellow or mustard blazer, and I found one in Rokit. It's not quite crushed velvet like hers was, but yeah, I think it's sort of one of those love-hate pieces. I love anything that's mustard, even though it doesn't really suit me because I'm so pale. I still wear it because I love it. Last thing I got from Rokit, which my mum absolutely loved when I showed her, is another jacket, which is again probably better for winter now, but it's an embroidered, it's going to be hard to show, embroidered floral jacket that's cream with orange embroidery. It's quite thick and like layered, so yeah, it'd be quite warm. It's sort of perfect for the temperature outside it is now, where it's not so cold you want to wear a massive coat but just want something to throw over to keep you cosy. That's on the back. It's just such beautiful embroidery. I got to pick one item from a website called Loot Vintage. I love anything with a fringe. As you can see on my blog, I'm always wearing stuff with fringing. I don't know why, it's probably the way it moves. I don't know, I just love it. I've got far too many fringe jackets and I really didn't need another one. But I didn't have one in blue, so I got, again I should have zipped it up, but I haven't, this suede sort of navy blue fringe jacket with batwing sleeves. It's quite 80s in shape, which I usually tend to steer clear of the 80s because it's not very me, but when you zip it up it just fits perfectly, where it's sort of 80s and it's got these huge batwing underarms and these sort of puffy power shoulders, but then it sort of sucks in at the waist and it just, I love it. It fits perfectly. Like, I'm not usually an 80s kind of girl, but I'll make an exception for this jacket because it's incredible. Last but not least, I've got something from an online vintage store called Frolicking with Clementine. It is this, again, wonderful 70s, again it's another printed maxi dress because I love them, but it's this lovely printed one with these sort of billowing sleeves.